First of all, congratulations on a great season, Fawzi, which should culminate in 3 runners on World Cup night. You left it late, but you got there in the end.
Yeah, we left it late. It was the last chance with a few of them, but luckily they got in.
And Lost Barbados, he's kind of been guaranteed a run from some way out. Has this kind of been his coming of age season? He looks like a horse who's just got better the older he's got.
Well, he's by Galileo, so I'm told they get better as they mature. And yeah, he was always a big baby and waiting to mature. He's a different horse this year, a lot more settled and relaxed. And we just thought we'll freshen him up after those 3 or 4 hard runs he's had.
So you are glad you bypassed that last run?
Very glad. He probably needed it, to be honest. He had 2 long, hard races, very close together. So yeah, we decided to bypass the big race and go on to the World Cup night.
I suppose in many ways, has he been a difficult horse for over here because he looks to have needed that trip and there's just no races for him anywhere apart from the Carnival?
There's not many races, as you know. There's only 3 throughout the Carnival, I think, 3 or 4 max. And of course the Gold Cup on the World Cup night. So yeah, it is frustrating a bit, but he gets the 1.5 miles as well, which was his prep race into these races. Yeah. And he ran quite well when he finished 4th, I believe. Yeah, he prefers a trip, obviously.
And do you think he's almost got better since we last saw him?
Hopefully. Hopefully. The goal was always to have him primed on the night, obviously.
And obviously in the Gold Cup itself, Big Orange is likely to go forward. Do you think Lost Barbados has to lead to be able to use that giant stride of his?
He doesn't have to lead. He can sit off the pace, as we've seen in his last run. He lost the lead around the 5 furlong mark, I think, and managed to come back at them there. So he doesn't have to lead for sure.
And Jordan Sport, who should go in the Golden Shaheen, has he surprised, or did he surprise you with the way he won on dirt last time?
Well, we always knew he was going well on the dirt. He showed it in the mornings. We just thought it was too much of a risk initially. Once we got to the limit with him on the turf, I thought. We thought the last card was to switch onto the dirt.
So if it had gone a bit closer in that last turf run, you'd have stuck to that, would you?
Yeah, I think we would have still switched to the dirt. Yeah.
And what was it about him that made you buy him in the first place?
Well, he was bought for the dirt, funnily enough, mainly because he's a Dubawi. He's very game. He probably gets 5, 6, 7 furlongs. I won't say 8, but I'll say 7. So he's a very versatile horse, and being a Dubawi, that makes him even better, to be honest.
And have you been able to freshen him up? Is he quite a horse that's easy on himself?
He is. He's easy on himself. For a sprinter, he's easy to train. And sprinters in general are much easier to train. So he's doing well.
And it's probably the one race, the World Cup as well, that the Americans are fairly dominant in. But would you be confident that he's up to it, Jordan Sport?
Confident enough. I mean, he's here. The Americans are obviously very good sprinters, but you know, they have to go through travelling and everything else. But we'll see. He's game enough. He's game enough.
Talking of game, he's only had a couple of goes on the dirt, but he really seems to relish that kickback and stay on, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, again, he's another horse that came quite underrated. I think he arrived with us at rated 89 or something. So he obviously improved with every run without getting his head in front, which was the frustrating bit. But yeah, he's a nice horse and versatile enough. He goes on the turf, he goes on the dirt, he handles the kickback, as you said. So why not? I'm happy to see that he's in Godolphin Mile.
And did he arrive here fairly late? He only started his season midway through February.
No, to be honest, he arrived with Jordan and the others, but we had issues with his feet. This is why we couldn't press on with him early on in the season. But luckily his feet are good now. It took some time, but yeah, he's no issue with him.
And obviously he had to have those runs in quick succession to get to the Godolphin Mile. Will that 4th run be a concern in such a short period?
Not with him. He's very laid back. He's asleep in his box most mornings. In fact, it's difficult to get him up for work in the morning.
No, he feels.
This is why he's taken well to the 3 consecutive runs.
And you mentioned you're going to stick the visor on World Cup night?
Well, definitely, yeah. We'll use the visors on him, see if that helps him in the early stages of the race a bit to concentrate.
And he didn't necessarily have an American pedigree that screamed dirt. What was it about him that kind of attracted?
Well, he's an Equiano. I think there was one or two Equianos that went in the dirt here in
Desert
Dubai.
Force. Yeah.
Desert Force was one of them, exactly. And again, they seem to be one of these breeds that go on the dirt for some reason.
But it's all about taking the risk, I guess, and trying to identify a stallion early on that's going to handle it.
Yeah,
over.
probably. And I mean the physique as well of the individual. Well, he definitely goes on it. So.